And I believe we are live. Let's make sure our volume's up. Okay, just a quick test here. Just make sure from this end it's playing. Are we playing? Yes, we're live. And I believe we are live. Let's make sure our volume's up. So our volume's up. Okay, just a quick test here. Just make sure from this end. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Ingram Jones, and this is the after show for the fight between Tava and Cunningham, and Marco Huck making his 14th defense of the Cruiserweight Championship of the world. Before I begin, this is going to be a very, very, it's going to be a pretty quick show tonight because I'm bloody tired. Don't forget to rate and subscribe, leave your comments. So let's get straight into it. Marco Huck making his 14th defense, first defense in America of the I think it's the WBO Cruiserweight Championship of the world. Anyway, while he's been the longest reigning champion after Vladimir Klitschko and Floyd Mayweather, it was Huck's debut. I know Huck, from what I believe, Huck had been out the ring for a while. He's under new trainer Don House, and what can I tell you? Don House, the former or the trainer of Bermain Stavern. This is obviously, I think it's the first fight. Don House and Huck working together, and it hasn't worked out too well, the first fight. From round one, anybody who was watching me or watching the Bayloric TV boxing tweets, from round one, you could see that the challenger, I can't pronounce his name, don't even ask me to pronounce his name, from the first round, Kristoff, this is well said, Kristoff from his first round, his straight left hand was finding the chin of Marco Huck. And for the first round, he was rocked, Huck, by the straight left hand. Now you're an experienced world champion. The first 4 rounds, Huck looked like a drunk on a Friday night, trying to put punches together and getting clipped with the left hand repeatedly. Now, I did say on my Twitter feed, if Huck doesn't make adjustments, he's going to get knocked out. People were saying, no, Huck ain't going to get knocked out. And I thought to myself, you know what? After about round 6, I thought, you know what? This guy's beginning to tire. And then, they'll look to step on the gas for this guy. This guy will probably tire. Huck lands a big right hand or big left hook, and Kristoff goes down. He gets up, and even when Kristoff gets up, Huck is still getting caught with the left hand. He's still pulling back with hands down by the side. He's still getting caught flush on the chin with the straight left hand, and this guy can punch, okay? So while I'm tweeting, I'm thinking to myself, Marco Huck, and he did well at heavyweight. I'd love to know how much he's weighing at the moment, in terms of like how much weight he's taken off to make down from heavyweight down to cruiserweight. And I know I was tweeting as well and saying the next fight he'll probably have will be against Roy Jones, and then Roy Jones will move up to heavyweight. But as I'm saying this again, Huck is still getting caught with the straight left hand. Even the way Huck was putting his punches together, they were nice, fast combinations, but they were all evil, disjointed, and he didn't seem to ever seem comfortable. At no point in the fight did Huck seem, he's comfortable. Because even when he had Kristoff down, Kristoff was able to get up and nail him clean with the left hand. All the time he kept nailing Huck clean with the left hand. Huck was timing him with nice right hands, but it's only when he started rushing in like a drunk and throwing these sloppy punches that he kept getting caught with the top with the left hand. So going later on into the fight, what happens? Obviously, you get tired, and as you get tired, and especially if you're struggling to make weight, and you're struggling to get down to 200 pounds, or then there's always the possibility as well, as you're struggling to make weight, in the later rounds, if you've done it the wrong way, then it will catch up with you. And to Kristoff's credit, let's not just put this down to Huck, not making the weight or struggling in the weight. Let's also say Kristoff invested early. He worked the body. He landed good body shots, hard body shots. He worked. It was up and down to head into body, of Huck. And then, of course, what happens when you pull straight back from punches with your chin up in the air? Of course, you're going to get clipped. And, it doesn't matter how good your chin is, eventually you'll get clipped right. And Huck, when he got clipped and got dropped, didn't know what to do. Never been knocked out before, ever been knocked down in his career. And unfortunately for Huck, when he went down, he didn't know how to recover. Kristoff was the one who was able to go down, recover, get back up, and get back into the fight. Huck later on got dropped, and that was it basically. Kristoff came in and finished off the fight. So for me, Huck has been, I wouldn't say exposed, but what I will say is that if you've got flawed techniques, if you like pulling your head back from punches and coming in straight lines, then eventually you're going to fight somebody who's more than happy to take your head off for you. And that is exactly what happened to Marco Huck tonight. Make no mistake about it, right? Marco Huck can train 100 times and get himself in shape 100 times. If you keep pulling your chin back and pulling straight back from punches, you're always going to get nailed. And now that Huck's been knocked out, even if he has the rematch, I'm backing Kristoff again, because I know if Kristoff goes down, he'll get back up. I know that Huck is reckless. He's always been reckless. That's what makes him fan favorite. His reckless way of coming forward, but he was just completely reckless. There was no way of he wasn't setting punches up. And the only time he seemed like when he was setting punches up, is actually when he wasn't rushing in and just throwing the straight right hand. If Huck had just gone, you know what, I'm just going to go with the strategy of, you know what, I'm going to keep on my back foot, and when you throw your straight left, I'm going to slip to the left or slip to the right and throw a right hand counter, and I'm going to make you stop throwing that left hand. I'm going to stop making you feel comfortable throwing that left hand. Then I'd like to see that from Huck. And if I could see from round one that straight left hand landing on Huck's chin, what was Don House thinking? What was Don House saying to him? Wasn't Don House saying, keep your hands up? What, that straight left hand's coming all the time? Let's stop him throwing the straight left hand. Let's keep our hands up. Let's block. Let's try and block that straight left. Let's neutralize that left. You mean you've got a champion 13 defenses and you don't know how to get at your way of a left hand? I don't know. So those are my thoughts about this fight so far. I don't think there's anybody in the room. It doesn't look like there's anybody in the room. There's two people watching, but nobody's actually saying anything. So I'll just keep on, which is probably not a bad thing. So those are my thoughts about the fight. Some fighters are very good fighting in their own backyard. Huck traveling to America, I don't know whether he's comfortable fighting away from home. Is it me or does my screen look really cloudy? It looks really cloudy. Let me. Sorry. Yeah, it's me. Right. So Huck seemed very he seemed uncomfortable the whole American experience. Whereas Kristoff, he didn't care whether he's fighting away or home. He came with that intention from round one. I'm coming to become world champion, and he fought with lots of heart, lots of credit to Kristoff. You can make all the excuses in the world for Huck. One excuse you cannot make excuses for is his lack of defense. And so having a trainer in your corner and having supposedly one of the best trainers in the world, or a top trainer, is going to protect you from getting hit. What I mean by that is, if you can see the punches coming, or say, look, you need to avoid that straight left hand. At no point in time in the whole fight did Marco Huck change his strategy in getting caught with that straight left hand, which I found absolutely bizarre. So for Marco Huck, it is the end of a long reign at cruiserweight. If Kristoff and him fight again, if he's got the same trainer, I don't think he can. He's got enough time to make the technical adjustments necessary to make the changes to make the changes necessary to beat Kristoff. I think Kristoff is a good fighter, very good fighter, and it's kind of put some pride back in the European championship. I wonder if Tony Bellew will fancy fighting Kristoff. Kristoff has a straight left hand. His straight left hand is quite similar to someone like Adonis Stevenson, the way he fights like that straight way, he throws that straight left hand, a lot of power in him. So I was thinking to myself, what a fight it would have been between Marco Huck and Kovalev, as a fantasy matchup. But hey, won't happen now. Okay, next on the agenda, and congratulations, by the way, to Kristoff for coming to America and putting on a great fight. Great fight. I think people back in Poland are very proud of Kristoff, the new WBO cruiserweight champion of the world. Okay, let's talk about the next fight, Tava versus Cunningham. My thoughts were if the fight went to the scorecards, it would go to Tava simply because of his personality. And I was pretty concerned before the fight, they were building the whole situation up with Tava being the host or one of the co-commentators on PBC. So they were talking about that. And I was thinking, oh, here we go. They're already building it up already for Tava. So with that happening, I just want to see a good fight. I want to see Steve Cunningham, the younger fighter, get inside and work the body of Tava and not allow Tava to land that straight left hand or get any sort of rhythm. Outwork the old man, make him work for 3 minutes of every round. That's what I want to see from Cunningham. He seemed aggressive enough in his whole startup and in the dressing room and talking before the fight. But again, Cunningham and Tava both looked like I couldn't tell who was 46 and who was 38. I couldn't tell, or 39, because they both were moving like two old men in a ring. And Tava, he fought in spurts, but Tava's whole strategy was to catch Cunningham coming in, and that's exactly what he was doing. Tava at one point was off the back foot, allowing Cunningham to come in and catching with the straight left hand. And if it wasn't that way, then the other way was Tava would just sort of tuck up and walk Cunningham back to ropes and try and catch him with left hand as well. It's almost as if Cunningham or Tava had watched the way that Tyson Fury fought Cunningham and realized if I walk Cunningham back to the ropes and start throwing punches, then I'm going to stand a good chance in this fight. Even the punches that Cunningham was throwing, they were like pitter-patter punches. I didn't, oh, hello. Good evening, Marky B. Hope you're well. Well, Marky, I hope you're well. Hope you're all good. Just basically talking about the fight between Steve Cunningham and Antonio Tava. Tava, to me, what can I say about Antonio Tava? He fought like he fought well for 46 yards. He fought in spurts, and at times out old man Cunningham. He fought at his pace. When Cunningham tried to rough him up, tied him up on the ropes, then at one point was able to stand on the outside and use the left hand. Tava was the man that was trying different things. Tava was the one he was looking for the knockout. Cunningham looked scrappy, was on the inside. He didn't know, and even when he was putting his punch together, he threw an output of punches. But for me, the quality punches were coming from Tava. I had to fight 115, 113 to Tava, based on the fact that Tava was landing bigger shots, he was landing heavier shots, and he was landing the more telling shots. At the end of a round or through a round, there was only one person stumbling around the ring. It was Cunningham, not Tava. Tava, if Tava was stumbling, it's because he got his foot crossed over, or he missed with a punch, just being clumsy. But otherwise, I think Tava Tava as you know, Tarver looked in control for me. At no point in time did Tarver look like Cunningham was going to ever knock him out. And yeah, I wasn't impressed with Steve Cunningham, to be honest. I really wasn't. Usually I feel kind of sorry for Steve Cunningham after a fight, but there are times I look at the fight and saying, hold on, you're the younger man in there, and the old man is making you look like the old man. You know, it was a very lackluster fight, to be honest. It was just a lackluster fight, and Cunningham, I would like to see Cunningham. What I was looking to see Cunningham do was to close the range down very quickly on Tava. Don't allow him to get set with the rhythm. Work his body. You know, really chop at Tava early. So come rounds 9, 10, 11, 12, he's almost like a very stationary. And you see how Tava was actually tiring in rounds 11 and 12. Had Cunningham invested more time to the body, I think, then later rounds he may have even been able to force a stoppage out of sheer tiredness from Tarver, but it didn't happen. Tarver looked more likely to land and to land and to cause a knockout. He was more likely. He was looking for it. You can see he was looking to load up with a big left hand, and at times even Tarver was landing 2 and 3 punches that were eye catching. So I don't know, a draw. I wasn't surprised, to be honest, because if you look at it at the end of the day, it's a PBC card, and who wins at the end of the day? The 2 guys might not be happy, but look, they can get to do it again. Both guys still haven't been beaten, so they both can go off and fight. One can probably go off and fight Eddie Chambers in the future. You know, one can be used as a to fight Deontay Wilder. So, you know, one can fight Eddie Chambers, one can fight Deontay Wilder. See, you've got that there. That's a nice mix there. I don't know, but I'm not surprised. It's Al Heyman, it's PBC, so Al wins. I don't want to see those 2 guys fight again. The styles for me didn't gel. Tava's got some power on that left hand, but I don't know. I'm not interested in any of those guys fight again. I'm getting comments coming through my YouTube. I don't know if I'm picking them up though. That's the thing. So I'm getting these pictures. This comment. Here we go. Marky says Huck was in with a beast tonight. I knew from the first bell I could see Huck's opponent looked a different class and had a lot of power. Yeah, he did. I kind of wonder if Huck knew what he was dealing with. You know, the body language of Huck was very different to the body language of Kristoff. Kristoff, I've never seen Kristoff fight before. It's the first time I saw him fight, and and Huck didn't look. I don't know if you look at his body language and the conversation between his trainer and him. And I definitely want to have a conversation with Don House afterwards. I'll try and get a hold of Don House. But if you look at Don House, he's like leaning back on the ropes, the body language, leaning back on the ropes, looking at Huck as if to say, yeah, this is it, mate. This is it. If you look at the body language, there wasn't that sort of trainer and fighter sort of, you know, gelling, you know, the trainer, it all seemed kind of odd, if you understand what I'm saying. They didn't see that sort of camaraderie between trainer and fighter. So I will talk to Don House about it afterwards. And from there, just from round 1 and getting staggered in the first round, feels like, oh no, oh no. Now, one thing to think about, just to consider before I end tonight, because I didn't say it was going to be a short show. Berto versus Mayweather. Here's a thought. Mayweather's chasing 49th fight. I believe they're trying to get him to get a 50th fight. I believe Steven Espinoza, the guy at Showtime, wants Mayweather to fight a 50th fight, and the 50th fight to be a rematch of Manny Pacquiao. Now, if Mayweather were to pass 49, then, you know, the 50th fight could be against Manny Pacquiao, not Amir Khan, not Kell Brook, not Keith Thurman. So think this out a second, and I keep saying it. The 49th fight Mayweather, in my estimation, I could be completely wrong here, he would be the first Afro-American or African-American fighter to go 49-0 unbeaten. Larry Holmes had the chance. Spinks got involved. Mike Tyson had a chance. Douglas got involved. And now Mayweather has the chance. And there's Berto. Now, how much of a chance did Douglas have against Tyson? 100 to 1? 1,000 to 1? Douglas had been knocked out before. The people didn't expect Douglas to do anything. Now, Berto, I suppose the odds are probably similar, if not worse. I wouldn't count Andre Berto out now because of history. The 49th fight. Let's see how the 49th fight goes. You know what? Anything's possible. Anything's possible. And especially with him going to be the first African American, there'll be another record for him to break in Mayweather. The only two other guys that have got the 49, who've gone past 49-0, or three fighters. First guy, he's Caucasian or he's white. Rocky Marciano, who's I think part Italian. There's Ricardo Lopez, who's 55-0, I believe. And there's Julio Cesar Chavez, who was 89-0. Two Mexicans, one Caucasian, or one white. Never been a black fighter to have done it. Will Floyd be able to do it? Or will the curse of number 49 come round? That's the question. I know people saying, oh, Berto's going to lose, Berto's going to lose, Berto's going to lose. This fight may not have enough to do with Andre Berto himself. There's a lot of things that can happen between now and September. So I think this fight's going to be a very tricky fight. I think this fight's going to be more tricky than the Pacquiao fight. I really do. That people think Mayweather's going to knock Berto out early. I don't see it happening. And if Berto lands, who knows? But those are my thoughts. 49-0. It's a business. It's political. And it's been political in the past. Why won't it be political now? That's the question. We'll have to look into this in another show, the ways that Andre Berto can win this fight from external forces, distractions, and what can he do inside the ring to possibly upset Floyd Mayweather. It's obvious that Floyd Mayweather is the guy that's going to win the fight. But like I said, because of the 49th fight, I'm not so sure it's going to go as smoothly as people expect it to be. Right. This is me. This is the end. Don't forget to rate and subscribe and to leave your comments. And also check out the latest interview I did with I'm tired this time. Wilson. Oh, I forgot his name again. Oh, I forgot his name again. He's got a book called Wiped Out. Jerome Wilson. There you go. Jerome Wilson. Check out the interview I did with Jerome Wilson. Jerome Wilson is a boxer, a British boxer who got injured in his last bout. And now half of his skull has been removed because he was in a coma. There was a couple of fundraisers for him, charity bouts, and basically the British Boxing Board of Control, according to him, have not been supportive at all. And as you'll see in the interview, just check out Jerome Wilson Bayloric interview. It hasn't been too good. So it's a great story. His book comes out the 1st September, Wiped Out, by Jerome Wilson and Mark Turley. It's a great story. And for those who know of British boxing, his trainer or his manager was Dave Colwell. So some very interesting information to come out. You'll get to know about the dark side of boxing, the business of boxing. And one of the things that Jerome revealed to me is that his manager then, Dave Colwell, with him being 8-0 at the time, Jerome Wilson, Dave Colwell wanted him to be a journeyman, and Jerome Wilson was not interested in being a journeyman fighter as an unbeaten young fighter. That wasn't his agenda. He wanted to be treated, and he wanted to fight, and to become a British champion at a minimum. So we'll hear much more about that in the interview, and life after boxing, being seriously injured, and what it was like being in a coma, and talking about the stuff what happened while he was during that coma. Some amazing stuff. But anyway, this is the end. Thank you for watching. Probably most people in the UK are half asleep, so I'll get to see this tomorrow. Well, there's a new cruiserweight champion of the world. To be honest, it serves Michael Huck right, pulling straight back from punches. He deserved to get knocked out. And as for Cunningham, he's very lucky he didn't get knocked out by Tava, doing exactly the same thing, walking straight into straight left hands. Both fighters tonight were what they call defensively irresponsible. Apart from Cunningham got away with it, whereas Huck wasn't so fortunate. This has been Ingram Jones from Bayloric TV. Thank you for watching. I am out to get some sleep. Take care.